The IPA put out a poll today about free speech, and surprise, surprise, it found that people love free speech. 87% of people say that free speech is an important value, 4% disagree. Australians who want free speech over the age of 60 is 95%, 18 to 29 is the issue of them wanting free speech. But Rita, let's actually deal with the reality here. We don't have free speech in Australia. Like in the United States, they have free speech, right? Instead, we have a very heavily metered version-ish of free speech, and on top of that, you've got cancel culture. So it's great that people love free speech, but I think that they think speech is a little freer than it actually is.
Yeah, and even in the States, yeah, they've got the First Amendment, but that hasn't stopped actresses getting sacked for saying something that isn't particularly woke, for not announcing their pronouns on their bio. You know, the cancel culture runs rampant in the US as anywhere else. So, but in Australia, we don't have that, but it is a fundamental human right, and we are a signatory to the Human Rights Charter. So I think it is something that Australians think every person is entitled to, but spending a little bit of time at university campuses or, you know, say anything that's not particularly PC, and you can get yourself in all sorts of trouble. You could cost you your career. So, yeah, the climate of censorship is alive and well in Australia, sadly.
Nicholas, do we have free speech in Australia?
Yes, we do, and it's something to be celebrated. I mean, just look at this program tonight. I mean, there I was calling Craig Kelly the biggest flog in Australian politics. I'm sure if you haven't said each way elbow yet, you will soon, Paul. You know, Mark Latham's frankly offloaded on every person in Australia, and you can do that in this country, and you won't go to jail for it. If I'd said those things about, you know, one of the generals in Myanmar, or if I'd said those things about, I don't know, someone in the Chinese Communist Party in China, I'd probably have, you know, find myself not a free citizen for much longer. So you can speak very freely in Australia, and I do think we have a pretty robust dialogue. Yes, we have defamation laws, but they are there as a set of guardrails around these things. They don't really inhibit free debate and free speech.
I hope you're right, Nick,
I
hope you're right, because the New South Wales Liberals we spoke about earlier on have threatened me with defamation action, so that doesn't feel like completely free speech in that regard. But, you know, Paul, what worries me about this sort of debate is the data that came out last year, that young Australians in particular, university students, feel like they can't speak their mind. What they can say is now limited, and it restricts their creativity. You see, the dark ages environment of cancel culture restricts creativity. If people are limited in what they can say and have the feeling limited in what they can think at an institution like the university, it is a disaster for creativity. And this is the thing that's so wrong with the cancel culture.
But also, Nicholas, but the thing is...
I'm sorry, Mark.
Hang on, Nicholas, hang on. But there's a clear and very important distinction here, which is the legal protections that mean, yes, we can say what we've just said on this show, but the reality of how people interpret that speech is that they think that because they disagree with it, that's it, kill off the TV station. Your Facebook page needs to disappear. Rita's an absolute disgrace for what she said, make sure she doesn't. So the cancel culture part of this is what Mark's getting to, and I think this is a really potent point. Yes, the law says you can say what you want, but the reality of the times are you cannot.
And even worse than that, it's something that Nicholas Rees has supported right here on this station, is the fact that we've had innocent university students dragged through the Human Rights Commission procedure for years, having that dark cloud hanging over their head, accumulating massive legal bills. Luckily, they had somebody who ended up representing them for free. Otherwise, they would have been saddled with enormous debt, all for posting something completely innocent, not in any way racially insensitive on Facebook. A Facebook post ended up costing 3 university students significant stress and money. That's not free speech in Australia. That's something you can't ignore.
All right, Nick, make it quick because I've got to go to a break because unlike Channel 2, we love the advertisers here.
Yeah, I mean, you give a homily to free speech and then in the next breath you criticise cancel culture because they attack certain political views that they don't like. But isn't their attack just another form of free speech. And Mark, I mean, you attack universities. I mean, I work
Not
at
the
a
consequences
university,
as
and I can
usual.
tell you there
Cancel
is
culture
a
is free
huge
speech.
diversity of viewpoints that are expressed
Black
on
is
university
white.
and very robust debate, and it's a very good
Night is
thing.
day. So did he really just say cancel culture is just free speech?
There you go.
Wow.
Well, see,
Wow.
you were high-fiving 2 minutes ago, and now look at what's happening.
Back to normal.
Reload
Well,
the
but
bazookas.
it's a fair point. What you don't think they should be free to express their view of
Not to
opposition?
close down other
views
people
of others?
for
That's exactly
expressing
what
their
we want.
legitimate point of view. You're kidding, aren't you?
Okay,
Big
so that
woke
should be a limit on
corporations,
free speech,
the
should it?
wealthy, the entitled, the elites, Nick's on their side to rub you out. People who've just got an
not.
opinion
That's
in
a tired
society.
old trope,
Yes,
Mark.
it is.
Anyone
Yes,
gets
it is.
so
This
intellectually
is the
flimsy.
new
You know it's
Labor
hollow
Party on
what
the
you're
side of
saying.
the elites. The big corporations that'll close down your point of view. How pathetic, Nick. How pathetic. What a sellout
Hang
of
on.
working people who just want to have their say.